Hi there. As you can tell from the title, you already know what this video is about. Since the release of the Chinese fusion mod, the Plants vs. Zombies franchise has experienced a resurgence in popularity, attracting hundreds of players and significantly expanding its universe. However, despite its immense recognition, some PvZ games have been overlooked by audiences. So, I suggest we take a quick stroll through all the games in the series. Plants vs. Zombies is a truly legendary game. Released in 2009, it instantly conquered global markets. For just $5 US, you could enjoy a week of fun. The game features 50 levels, and with each level, it adds more vibrancy. Locations and decorations change, new zombies and plants appear. As you progress, many games tend to get stale, but that's not the case. The game even includes boss battles. If you get tired of the main adventure, you can dive into mini-games like puzzle and survival. And if you manage to complete everything, there are various achievements to tackle. For those who have completed 100% the game, there are secret mini-games that can only be unlocked with a bit of effort. This game is a legend. It revolutionized the tower defense genre. That's why I believe it deserves a solid 10 out of 10 sunflowers. 2 is probably the only game in the whole lineup that's still being actively updated and doing well, even after 8 years. There's a ton, just tons of plants, most of which have their own unique abilities, and dozens of cool locations, each with its own unique features. Take Jurassic Marsh, for example. That place is full of different dinosaurs that'll interfere with you in all sorts of ways. Visually, everything looks solid. This is one of those cases where graphics in a sequel were done perfectly without going overboard, like they did in the third game. As for in-app purchases, it's a bit of a mixed bag. At times you can buy some seriously overpowered plants, but other times you can make it through the whole game without spending a cent. The main downside is all the ads. Seriously, after almost every level, there's an annoying ad popping up. You can solve this by simply turning off the internet, but if you're playing in the arena, you'll have to put up with it a bit. The second drawback is that the game goes by way too fast. I wish they'd add new locations or something. Luckily, there's a fix for that too. You can download mods. There are tons of cool mods online that really extend and shake up the game. Overall, Plants vs. Zombies 2 is one love for me. I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. If you haven't played it, you've missed out. I really love this game. 3D models, your own town, new zombies and plants. It was such a blast. But they shut down the game due to low player numbers, but honestly, what did they expect? It was a Facebook exclusive. Despite the cute plants, the game was seriously tough. By the final level, things would get so chaotic. You also had the option to play as the zombies, sending them over to disrupt your friend's progress. The objective was to unlock all the levels and expand the entire town, all while strategically slowing down your friends by sending waves of zombies their way. Plants weren't limitless. You had to cultivate them, with a maximum of 15 at any given time. Although a few premium plants were available for purchase, the standard ones generally suffice. The gameplay also evolved. Rather than just defending 5 fixed lanes, you'd protect between 1 and 5 lanes, with each level featuring a distinct setting and layout of pathways. The plants themselves underwent significant changes as well. Each plant now had its own attack range and area of effect. They were also indestructible, with the option to revive them for 25 sun. Additionally, new buffs were introduced. You could freeze zombies temporarily, and plants could be upgraded to extend their range and boost their damage. Unfortunately, the game was shut down just a year after it launched. Overall, it's a fantastic and nostalgic game. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10, with points docked only for the in-game purchases. First up on the positive side is its casual nature. The game doesn't demand a lot of effort or complex strategies from you. It's designed purely to help you unwind. Another advantage is the variety of skins, which introduce subclasses. Although the game has a relatively small roster of characters, the skins not only change the character's appearance, but also add subclasses, altering the attack style of each character. A pretty cool feature that brings some much-needed variety. I think I've covered the main pros, so let's move on to the cons. First off, there's just not enough content unless you're a die-hard PvZ fan. you'll probably only stick with it for 20 to 40 hours at most, as the game gets repetitive pretty quickly. The second downside is that the game is completely dead, all the servers are empty. Because of that, I couldn't fully enjoy the game. Overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10, but honestly, it's not worth its price. Finally, my favorite shooter. I absolutely love this game. I remember back in 2016, I had a long battle with my internet connection and my Electronic Arts account, but in the end, I finally got to dive into this incredible game. And let me tell you, I've never regretted the purchase. It's a shooter where the main goal is to unlock all the characters and level them up to master status. Along the way, you'll need to complete quests for both the plants and the zombies. There are 16 characters in total, 2 of which are secret and pretty tough to unlock. Since it's multiplayer, you can team up with friends and family. Here's also fantastic character customization. You can change both the skin and abilities of your characters. There are 8 plant characters in total: pea shooter, sunflower, chomper, cactus, citron, rose, kernel corn, and stump. The zombies also have 8 characters: soldier, scientist, football player, engineer, imp, super brains, pirate, and goat. Playing each of them is engaging and a lot of fun. The game features some super secret characters too, like a cat and a dinosaur. Plus, there are secret enemies, dwarfs, who kicked off all the chaos. I really enjoy this game, and I'd give it an 8 out of 10 since it's a bit buggy and has some in-game purchases. The next game I'll cover is Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. To put it briefly, this is by far the worst game in the entire PvZ franchise. How could they even dare to throw Plants vs. Zombies into an overdone, uninspired card game genre? The optimization is terrible, with freezes, crashes, boring gameplay, and of course, a ton of pay-to-win elements. Overall, I'd rate the game a 4 out of 10 simply because it could have been worse. There are now some incredibly powerful zombies that can munch through walnuts in seconds and take ages to defeat. Plants have become weak and practically useless. There are no lawnmowers anymore, so you have zero room for error. The game is filled with in-game purchases and ads that let you upgrade your plants. And the Tree of Wisdom made a comeback. At first, it cost crystals and in-game currency, but then it ended up costing an outrageous amount of money. Then there's the gameplay, which has shifted to a vertical format. The developers claim that most people play while riding the subway or sitting on the couch, where it's awkward to hold the phone horizontally. Well, that's part of the problem. The plants have seriously deteriorated. No plant aside from the zucchini or cherry bomb can actually take out zombies. The game has only 30 levels, but they're so difficult. Honestly, I don't have much more to say. The game completely flopped. They're reworking it, but I doubt anything worthwhile will come of it. I'd rate it a 4 out of 10. So mind-blowing that I spent an entire hour just exploring the little details in the lobby. Overall, it feels like the same old Garden Warfare 2, just with better graphics. Although I have to admit, I really do like the graphics in the second GW as well. As for the game modes, there doesn't seem to be anything groundbreaking. Thank goodness they added new maps. Unlike its predecessors, the maps are significantly larger this time around, which brings us to another new feature. In this version, you can move around much faster than in previous entries. In my opinion, another useful addition is the faster movement, which makes traversing the maps much easier. But my favorite aspect, the one that made me enjoy the game the most, is the single-player mode. It features a decent storyline with unique bosses that not only look interesting, but also have unique mechanics. All of this plays out on beautifully crafted maps. Of course, the game isn't without its flaws. The game can be a laggy mess. It either won't start at all or takes 10 tries to get going. For some reason, I experience severe frame drops even on the lowest settings. Another significant downside is the absolutely terrible progression system. Finally, the last negative is the price, $30. Electronics, have you completely lost your minds? The absolute maximum this game should cost is $5. That's pushing it. By the way, that's exactly what I snagged it for. Overall, I'd rate the game a 6 out of 10. That's all for now. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Feel free to drop your ideas for future videos in the comments. See you next time.